everybody. Thank you for watching my channel. So today's discussion is about how to study for your shelf exams. So the first part of the video, what I want to do is a general study strategy and then break it down how to study for each of the rotation, okay? So first things first is UWorld. You must do UWorld during your third year clinical clerkship, okay? So the goal is ideally is to do UWorld 2 times. I know it seems overwhelming, but you know, for me, you know, as much as people say that, oh, it doesn't matter what score you get as long as you pass on the shelf exam, but why? Why just pass? You know, this is a board exam for a reason. Every board exam you do, you always want to strive for the highest score or the best score, right? So I don't when people say, oh, it doesn't matter, it matters, especially now with the whole pass and fail of step 1. I think there's a little bit more weight on your shelf exams, okay? So UWorld, try to do UWorld 2 times, okay? When you're doing the UWorld questions, again, make your flashcard, your Anki deck, or write in a notebook, whatever helps you retain that information to have that spatial repetition. Whatever it is, continue doing that and try to do it 2 times. So you want to purchase UWorld for step 2 CK, and then whatever clerkship you're in, make sure you do those questions 2 times, okay? Especially the questions that you get wrong, obviously, questions that you guessed and you got right, questions that you feel that you might forget, just write it out. And this will all help you when it comes time for dedicated step 2 study, okay? So start early. As soon as you start your rotation, start your UWorld, super important. The next advice is do the NBMEs. Oh my God, guys, like when I took my shelf exams, and yes, I got A's on all my shelf exams, NBME questions were like my saving grace, okay? So do UWorld and do NBME. If you don't have time because hours are long and you know you're tired, absolutely understandable. So the 2 things that I highly suggest you do is UWorld and NBME questions. With the NBME questions, same strategy. Make flashcards out of anything you got wrong, you know, and review those. Always review for spatial repetition, okay? And the next advice is online med ed. If you don't know what online med ed is, Google it. It's Dr. Williams. He is fantastic. I love him. He basically breaks it down in very simplified lecture of different type of diseases and pathology. So he is amazing. He goes through every system. He goes through the surgery part. So when you're doing surgery rotation, you watch the surgery videos. When you're doing internal medicine, watch internal medicine videos, psychiatry, psych videos, etc. So his website is absolutely organized and it's very straightforward and it's simplified, which is amazing because I like things to be simple. Okay, and then the last advice I have is Emma Holliday. So Emma Holliday has videos, like YouTube videos, as well as if you Google her, her slides, you can find those PDFs for free. So she basically is just lecturing the high yield concept for each shelf exam. So definitely look into her, Emma Holliday. YouTube her and Google her. She's fantastic. I love her. I used her as well for quick last minute review, okay? So those are really the 4 things you really need to study for your shelf exam. Try to limit it as much as possible without getting more resources involved. UWorld and NBME should be your top priority to study. That's what is your go-to. Online med ed, what I would suggest with online med ed is it depends on your time constraint. If you don't have a lot of time, watch the videos of topics that you are struggling with and really, really master that. Listen to him on your commute. That's another way of doing it. And then with Emma Holliday, I used her PDFs and watched her YouTube videos about a week before my shelf exam just to really grasp the knowledge and concept, okay? So keep it simple, guys. And then obviously throughout all of the studying, your flashcards. You got to do your flashcards or whatever works for you, okay? All right, so let's jump into how to study for surgery. Okay, so with surgery, here's the deal with surgery. If you rotated through internal medicine first and then went into surgery, you're actually in good position of doing exceptionally well, because even though you have the UWorld surgery questions, yes, know those really well, that to the point that you can teach somebody. But internal medicine foundation is super heavy as well on the surgery shelf. So if you already did internal medicine or you have it first, you're in a good position. However, if not, I somehow figure out how you can do the IM questions as well as the surgery questions on UWorld and the NBME, okay? And I'm only saying that because I got an A on surgery and I did the surgery questions only, as well as the IMGI portion questions. But my friends who did the NBME, the IM questions, and the surgery UWorld questions, like, I mean, they excelled way ahead, okay? So do that. Again, watch Emma Holliday and then Online MedEd, watch that as well. All right, internal medicine, UWorld, NBME. I feel like a lot of things I'm gonna say is very redundant, but it's to just kind of tell you that I'm trying to keep it very simple for you and easy for you, because you're gonna be so busy with your clinical rotations that you can't have multiple extra resources, okay? Just keep it very simple. So UWorld, NBME, Online MedEd. And then another thing that is super important in internal medicine is UpToDate. Now, UpToDate is just like a medical search engine that should be offered at the hospital that you are rotating from. And it should be free for you to use in anywhere you are, whether you're at home, using your laptop, whatever, any remote area, you should have access to it once you register. So what I did during my internal medicine rotation is, whatever patient I had, let's say my patient came in with pneumonia, I would just read it really quick on UpToDate pneumonia, just because it's so simplified on UpToDate. It's lengthy, but if you can skim it really fast and look at the algorithm and the charts, you're fine. So it's just like a reinforcement. So when you're at work and you can't, do your questions because you're with your attending and your seniors, you could have UpToDate right there on your iPad or whatever, and you can read it, because that they expect you to kind of look up these things anyway. So, there's an opportunity to use UpToDate. Okay, so again, internal medicine, do UWorld twice. Definitely do NBME, guys. Like those two, I cannot preach enough how they help me excel on my shelf exams. Okay, so those two, super important. Okay. Next one, let's talk about family. So family medicine rotation is literally doing IM questions again, except that you're doing the internal medicine questions again, but you're also looking up preventative medical information. So what age should someone, should get a colonoscopy? What age should someone get low-dose CT scan because they're a smoker? So you should know all this stuff. If you Google it, you'll be able to find it, all that information. So you got to know that part, because that's the actual family part, the preventative medicine part, very important, as well as then you have the internal medicine question. So family is repeat of internal medicine plus preventative medicine on top that you have to just find and study. I will post a link to use for that, just to help you out. Also, another one for family is, so yeah, you'll do your UWorld, you'll do your NBME. If you have time, log on to AAFP. They have family medicine questions as well that were helpful, I guess. But for me, honestly, if you're doing UWorld, NBME, and then just reviewing the preventative medicine, you should be fine. I know from just talking to a lot of other students that family shelf exam is by far the hardest. So definitely put more time into it, okay? Next one is psych. Okay, psych, I had like so much fun in psych rotation. It was great. To study for psych is the U World, NBME, and then what I also did was I looked back to first aid, the psych section of first aid for step one studying. And I just kind of reviewed the different, the differences between all the schizophrenia, schizophreniform, blah, blah, blah. Like, so I reviewed that because psych questions are confusing. They're so confusing. So you really, really need to pay attention to what the question is asking, okay? I did have a great time in psych, but psych, I would say, is also a little tricky. So just look at the wording, okay? Look at the wording, what they're asking. Look at the timeline, because it depends on the timeline to diagnose someone, right? Because if you're, let's say if it's 6 months, it would be schizophreniform or whatever. So I don't know. So know the timeline of the different diagnoses that you'll do. Along with that, for psych, yeah, flashcards, online med-ed is great, UWorld and NBME, okay, simple. Okay, OB-GYN, UWorld, NBME, online med-ed. So online med-ed, I watched few videos. So for me with online med-ed, I loved it, but I only watched the videos where I felt that I needed extra help, that I was just confused on, okay? Again, like OB-GYN rotation is brutal. The hours are brutal. Surgery rotation hours are brutal. So you have to be very cognizant of your time, and you'll learn time management. You'll learn it, okay? You pick and choose what is priority. Okay, so that's OB-GYN. Very simple. I remember a lot of similar UWorld question on my shelf exam. A lot of the charts that you'll be doing, a lot of charts that you'll see, a lot of graphs that you'll see in UWorld questions, very similar to shelf. Okay, peds. Peds is so fun. Oh my God, I love little people. With peds, UWorld, NBME, obviously you'll do your flashcards. So basically peds is like internal medicine for the little guys, right? So what I did with the peds, and this is also something that can work with internal medicine. So internal medicine and peds is basically the questions are they're subject-based, they're organ-based questions. So what you want to do is organize it by that. First do each organ-based, like first you'll do all the cardiovascular questions, then your respiratory questions, then your ID questions, blah, blah, blah. Do it in categories, and then when you go again doing it second time, do it mix, okay? I feel that way is you really understand each system more thoroughly, because you're just getting one subject. So you're learning everything about that organ. And then once you master that, then you can do it mix and you'll be more prepared that way. So for peds, UWorld, NBME as usual. And then I also did like a really quick read on the peds section from Step 2 CK book. The one that I used was Step Up to CK, and I just kind of like quickly just skimmed the peds section. So I don't really, what I focused more on was just the UWorld and the NBME questions. And if you have, again, up to date is great too. So if you don't understand an explanation in UWorld or NBME or whatever, well, NBME you don't even get an explanation. Go to up to date and look it up. Okay. Other things, case files. There's books out there called case files. They're great. I mean, again, it's just extra stuff that if you have time and you've gone through everything, okay. If you're on a time crunch, it's really your prerogative what you want to do. Besides that, I think that's all there is. Keep it very simple. UWorld, NBME, online med-ed, A.HAJIDATOO. Done. Boom. Flashcards. Done. Like, you have a life. Enjoy your life. Enjoy your time in your clinical rotation. One thing I definitely recommend is when you're at work, you should work. focus on what's going on in rounds, pay attention, take notes, be diligent, be professional, be respectful, you know, because it's the attending's time, not your time, right? So it's attending, give them the utmost respect, look at them, don't be busy on your phone, don't have your flashcards out if you have paper flashcards. That's just rude. So when there's downtime, do all that. But when you're in rotations, just 100% there, give your 100%. And I'm only saying that because that will get you so far in life. Because again, with rotation, you're there to learn, but you're also there to prove yourself. You're also there to get a letter too. So if you want a good, strong letter, you have to do your part as a medical student. Always be available to help out. Always be positive, and just know it's stressful. You know, it's a lot of stress. There's a lot of different personalities. You have just be nice and courteous and just stay calm, okay? And I would like to end with just saying that it's awesome to just be in that position in life as a medical student where now you are in clerkship. You are, I mean, this is game day. You know, you're there, you're in the hospital setting, you're meeting patients, you know, no more standardized patient practice. You're meeting actual patient with actual diagnosis, with actual clinical symptoms that you see. So it's like absorb everything, you know, like you made it. You're past step one, which I know is pass fail. So people are kind of have mixed feelings about it, but you're there now. This is your time to shine. Like if you are not really good at taking exams, this is your time to shine in the clinical field. Okay, so this is your time right now. So I wish you guys all the best. I will put my information on the bottom. Keep the notification button on. I am so excited for you. Reach out to me if you have any questions. If you need me to guide you, I'm here for you. And I wish you guys all the best. Bye.